Prakashji, kindly, yeah. Prakashji, please mute your microphone. Yeah, so we had gone till the verse number 38, and we will do the verse 39. So Bhagavan is being addressed by Arjuna, and Arjuna is telling, "Oh Lord, some noise is coming." Yeah, okay. So Bettasi Vedyam cha Param cha Dhama, and we were discussing there was some bit of philosophical issue here. How can Bhagavan be the knower, that is Vetta, the one who knows, and also the one which is known, that is Vedyam? So Param cha Dhama. And what is that ultimate destination? Because he is the one who we identify with ultimate liberation. He gives us moksha, and that is the ultimate, that Tad Vishnum Paramam Padam, right? That is the ultimate destination. That is liberation. Complete unit and dissolution of our individual egos and everything. When the ignorance goes, that you are different from the Lord, as soon as this ignorance goes, you become one with the Lord. Now, this Vetta and Avedya, we had a bit of discussion yesterday. When Bhagavan is Vedya in the Ajnana Dasa, when we are still trying to know who are we, who is God. So then again, there are two categories as we have discussed earlier. There is a Kritopasti, a Kritopasti. Who is a Kritopasti? Who has done Nishkama Karma and he has already done a lot of Upasanas. He has done a lot of prayers and a lot of meditations, a lot of japa. Because of this japa and meditations, and because of a lot of serious spiritual practices he has done earlier, he directly focuses on Shravana Manana and Nididhyasana. Because he's quite illisible, his mind is not having any confusion. He has almost disciplined his mind, and therefore, when he starts meditating on the nature of the self and the Brahma Tattva, the secret is very quickly revealed to him. And what is that secret? The secret is very simple, which we are already reading. He will only experience it directly, what we are reading. And what we are reading, Brahma and Jiva is only one thing at the level of pure consciousness, but it appears as different. He experiences it very quickly as he starts reading the Upanishads and starts meditating on the internal truths as narrated and explained through many texts that he reads. Now, at that particular process, what is Vedya? The Ishvara Tattva is Vedya. That is the only thing that he wants to know. In that sense, he's the Parama Vedya. That is the only thing. That's why the earlier sloka he said, I have seen your Vishwarupa, you are Veditabhya, Suddha Vicharena. Through proper analysis, proper meditation, proper focus, you are Veditabhya. All else we try to know in samsara, like whether it's a cricket score or it's what is happening in Afghanistan or what is happening in Corona. These are all fine. But this is not Paramatatva. This is about the Vyavaharika Sansara, the phenomenal world. In that sense, Bhagavan is Vedya. But who is actually knowing? Think about it. We are trying to know him, isn't it? Who are we? We are trying to know him because we are clouded by the dark stains, dark influences of our individual karmas. Therefore, we think we are the knower, isn't it? So who is trying to know here? The Sopadika, the clouded consciousness. That clouded consciousness is the individual. If it's consciousness without the clouds, what is it? It becomes Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma. So this pure consciousness that we are, as soon as we realize it, we become Vetta. But then we are non-different from Ishvara. So the knower, the pure knower, which is Satchidananda Swarupa, he is the all-knowing self. Not knowing the way we try to understand physics or chemistry, but Parama Vetta in what sense? Because he's Suddha Chaitanya. There is nothing outside of it to know. So that is the Parama, all knower. He's created this samsara. He knows all details. But in what sense we are talking about here? He's not like an individual with a brain. He's not an individual with certain thought processes. Ishvara is not like that. The Parameshwar is not like that. Yeah, you can say Hiranya Garva, the Devatas, you can attribute, they have body, they have hand, they have legs, they have a mind. But Ishvara is Suddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness. There is no body-mind duality there. So in that sense, he's saying you are Vetta and you are also Vedya. Vedya, when we are trying to know you, is, but you are the ultimate knower of everything. And when we have realized it in that stage, we are Vetta, but we are no different from you. We are your pure consciousness. So that is only consciousness, pure consciousness. It's difficult to imagine it, but if you think about it, you will understand it. It is like there is some water in a bubble, and that water is trying to be ocean. What is the destination of that bubble? Water in the bubble, water bubble, the ocean. So what is that water bubble? That water bubble is also ocean. So it is also the destination. It is also making effort. Depends on how the water bubble looks at itself or how we look at that water bubble. When the water bubble has realized that I am the ocean, it has reached its destination. Now, this process of reaching the destination is essentially a change in perception, correcting the way we think about our own existence. That is the subtle thing in Vedanta. And Param Cha Dhama, you're the ultimate destination. We do Chaturdhama, we go to a lot of pilgrimages. But the ultimate pilgrimage is actually Harinama. Harinama means taking meditation and Parameshwara. Because once we reach that Suddha Tattva, there is nothing more to achieve. There is no other place to go. And therefore, you are Param Dhama. Tvaya Tatam. Tvaya, by you. Tatam, Vyaptam. Because he is what? He is Desa Kala Vastu Paricheda Sunya. He is everywhere. And therefore, everything we see, it is all, everything. Vasanad Vasudevasya Vasitam Bhuvanatrayam. Everything is Achadita, is covered. Vasudevena. Vasanad Vasudevasya. Because that is what he pervades everything. Like he permeates everything. He's Sarvavyapta. Why? He's Chinamatra, Suddha Satta. Outside that easiness, nothing is possible. That is that pure easiness. Outside, nothing is possible. Pain is, table is, we have discussed that. Na bhava vidyate satah, na sato vidyate bhava, na bhava vidyate satah. There we have discussed that at length. And therefore, Itvayam Tatam Vishwam Ananta Rupa. This whole samsara, Ananta Rupa, it's pervaded by you, your Ananta Rupa. Bayur Yamur Yagni Varunaha. In the next verse, now that is what we have already finished, 38. Now, in the next verse, he is trying to be a little more specific. He is giving specific details and he's trying to narrate the Vishwarupa Dhara Parameshwara, that is Lord Krishna. He is trying to explain that you are these specific things. As Bhagavan, having explained who he is in the Vibhuti Yoga in chapter 10, he said, I am this, I am that. Similarly, Arjuna is doing the same thing here. Vairyamognirvarunah sasankah prajapratistam prapitamahasya namo namastestu sahasrakritvah punascha bhuyopi namo namaste. And we have already discussed that he was terribly scared looking at this fierce appearance of Lord Krishna. So many heads, so many hands, all holding different kinds of weapons, ready to fight. And then what else he saw? His teeth, people who are just entering this Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, they are all entering and they're dying there. They're being sacrificed. And then some of them are getting stuck between the teeth, like when we're having spinach or jackfruit or many other things, pineapples, they get stuck between our teeth. Same way, these people are getting stuck, bad karma. And that death also becomes very painful. Now, these are people all dying. Arjuna is very scared when Bhagavan says, this particular Krura Rupa I have taken, don't get scared. It's in order to remove from earth those whose times have come to an end. I have already terminated them. You fight, take the name and fame, you become Nimitta Matra. Outwardly, you take the credit. I have no botherations. He's not like the political leaders these days who would like to take credit for work done by other people. No, he's not like that. He'd like to give credit for everything that he has done for us, and that is the beauty of it. All our achievements is actually his blessing. But then he gives us a chance to enjoy life. Why? We are his children, we are his devotees. And he always rewards his devotees with jnana, sometimes with punishment, sometimes with love, like a kind, compassionate parent. So now Arjuna is kind of mentioning, you are Vayuhu and you are Yamaha. Yama is what? Dharma Devata. Agnihi, you are fire, and Varunaha, Apampatihi, the king of waters, Shasankaha, moon, Prajapratistam, Brahma, Prapitamahasya. Why Bhagavan is Prapitamaha? He is the father of Pitamaha. Brahma is Pitamaha because he is the father of Kashyapa, and Kashyapa is the father of Marichi. So Brahma is referred to as Pitamaha. And then Bhagavan is the creator of this Brahma or Prajapati, and therefore he is referred to as Prapitamahasya. Namo Namoste Su. Namaste Su. So he's saying, oh Lord, I am praying to you. He's doing again and again pranama because he has realized his mistake that he was thinking Lord Krishna as a human being. Now he has seen how unlimited his powers are, how kind he is. Then, therefore, he's thanking him. Sahasra Kritvaha. So there is a particular pratyakal Kritva Such through which the Sahasra again and again, 1,000 times is bowing down to him, doing namaskara. Punasya bhuyopi namo namaste. Even then he's not satisfied. There is no end to how deeply the devotee loves his deity, his God. So I was told a very interesting story by one Vaishnava Bhakta here, and I like that story, so I'm just telling. I said, I don't like go to ISKCON temple because people sing and dance. So he laughed. He said, is it easy to dance? It is very easy to dance in parties. Is it easy to dance for God? I said, what do you mean? He said, I know a Polish lady who lives in Vrindavan. She lives alone, doesn't talk to anyone. She does her japa and meditation or whatever. But every day she plays this Hariram Hare Krishna. And if you go to a room, she goes on dancing in a room in front of Lord Krishna after locking the door from inside for 3 hours. Everyone knows about it, that she would be dancing. Nobody disturbs her. You think she's mad? She's never satisfied. She thinks I have not danced for my Lord. So she sort of she sees herself as a gopi. That I am one of his admirers, craving for his love. Now, this particular thing, the devotee, like Bhagavan once, Ramakrishna, he was answering how to look for God. And even we have studied that, even in Bhagavad Gita and also in these Atma Bodha that we studied, how to look for God, how to look for the self. And you know what? The answer is very simple. What they say, you look for God, look for self, as desperately as a goldsmith looks for gold. Okay, a sansari looks for sansarika sukha with that intensity. If you can look for God with that intensity, the way a businessman will look for profit, you look for God. Or as a sportsman or sportswoman will look for a gold medal in the Olympics, with that desperation, you look for God. Then it's easy. That is how the stories, these are in different texts, they advise. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has said the same thing to one of his devotees. So he's saying, he's not satisfied. He's saying, Namo Namaste to Sahasra Kritvaha, Punasya Bhuyopi Namo Namaste. Again and again he's doing it. And I'm also reading the next. Together we'll do this, because these are only prayers in two of these verses. Namah Purastadath Prushtataste Namastuti Sarvata Eva Sarva Anantavirya Mitabikramasvam Sarvam Samapnosi Tatosi Sarvaha. Nama Purastad. He's saying, I'm worshipping your front. Atha Prushtataste, and I'm also worshipping you at your backside. Namastute sarvate eva sarva. Then I am worshipping you everywhere. You will have this doubt. But you just told us that is desa kala vastu paricheda sunya. How is it possible Arjuna is himself said earlier that I have become Digvranta. I don't know what are the directions. Why? Because you are everywhere. Sanjay told this to Dhritarashtra. He becomes completely Digvranta. He cannot recognize where is he. And now he's saying, I'm worshipping you from the front, I'm worshipping from at your back, I'm worshipping you everywhere. What does it mean? We will discuss that. This is his mind, as we have discussed. He has got Divya Drishti, but not Divya Jnana. He has a long journey to complete. And therefore, his language is still Laukika, Manaviya. He's still speaking in human language. He hasn't reached that level. When you reach that level, you become one with the Lord. You cannot speak anymore. Your language will be silence. Your language will be loving, peaceful silence. You will not be able to speak words. Of course, you will speak to your sishyas, your devotees, other friends out of compassion, but there'll be no real thing to say anymore. So te sarvata eva sarva ananda viryam. Now here ananda virya is semen. Is that energy that we are referring to? No. Is Sankaranandi beautifully mentions. Here virya is not sakti in that sense. Here it is vyapana silata. His ability to pervade everywhere. That is the virya. That is the sakti. He is sarva vyapaka. The ananda virya. Amita vikrama. Mita means was parimita, limited. Vikrama is what? Power, that Vikrama. Okay. Now, why is he referred to as Amita Vikrama? Because he himself right now saw his Krura Rupa and he knows that the Bhagavan has created this whole samsara. He can terminate it as and when he wants. And there is no end to his power, his Aishwarya. There's no end to it. Amita, that means Aparimita Vikramaha. Aparimita Vikrama Dasasaha Amita Vikramaha. Who is he? Tvam, you are my Lord. Sarvam Samapnosi and Apnosi, that means Vyapnosi. You sort of pervade everything. In a way, it's repetitive, isn't it? You are addressing somebody as Ananta Virya and Amita Vikrama and then saying that you pervade. So is it because you are powerful and because you are Ananta Virya and Aparimita Vikrama or Amita Vikrama, you can pervade everything? But no, that is very simple. He is Sarva Vyapaka. But this is like a child trying to understand the parent and explain. So he's trying to speak in language about something which is a vachya. So it's out of love that he's narrating like this. Samapnosi tatosi sarvaha. And therefore you are sarvaha. He's using this word sarva. Bhagavan has no such word because Jagannivasa. He's saying, oh Lord, Prasida, please be kind, Jagannivasa. You are the place where this whole galaxy and sansar and everything, finds its shelter. Now that will contradict if you say, oh Sarva, as if this fellow can see him. Or no, he cannot say anything. He's saying you are everything in that sense. He's just using a few words. We will see how the commentators explain it. Let's look at now these two verses. Let's look at Sankaracharya. So, Kincha Vayu iti Vayuswam Yamascha Agnihi Varunaha Apampatihi. Varuna is Apampatihi. Vayu and Agni. Vayu and Yama and Agni. And Varuna. Apampati. Sasanka. What is Sasanka? Chandrama. Okay. Why Sasanka is called? You know about it, right? That particular, that Khargos, that rabbit was running, it falls on the Kalanka, so it's Sasanka. And Prajapratistam Kasyapadihi Prapitamahasya. So there are 2-3 interpretations. Some people say Kasyapadi means they're looking at multiples, but there are certain commentators who say that, look here, you should take it in a singular thing because Prajapati is Ekavachana. So you should not say Kasyapadi means all of the people, or Shankaracharya says Kasyapadi. There are certain other interpreters who are saying that he's referring particularly as Prajapati. Prapitamahasya. Pitamaha is Prajapati, and you are father of the Pitamaha, so you are Prapitamahasya. Pitamahasya api Pita, Prapitamaha. Brahmanopi Pita ityartha. So you are the father of Brahma. That is why you must have seen that in the picture of Ananta Sayana, from his Nabhi Kamala, that lotus thing which comes out of his navel point, because you see Lord Vishnu is given a male form. Can he bear children? This is the beauty of it, that it is that navel form. comes out, and in the lotus you have Lord Brahma. Somebody, these lot of these Western intellectuals who are using psychoanalysis to understand religion, they might say that this is a gay fantasy, homosexual fantasy, the man's desire to be a mother. It's quite possible you can make this kind of a funny interpretation. But what he's trying to say is Bhagavan Vishnu is Vishwa Yoni. Yoni here is not any particular part of the female body. Yoni here means Karana. You are the cause of this whole universe. What? Is it a physical cause? No. We have Vivartavada. That means it is a nimitta, bhinna nimitta upadana karana. But please understand this, that this is not like mother giving birth to a child. This is sankalpa matrena srishti. Everything happens just by an act of wish. And why that happens, we have discussed, because of Maya. Because, and ultimately this is all a joke. That is what the Abhasavada says. This srishti is satya. So far we have a jnana. When we have jnana, we do not take this srishti seriously. We know the Paramartha Tattva Eva Satya. All these things that we see is not very exciting for us anymore. Till that point, we will do karma, we will do sadhana, because reaching there in 2 sentences after reading a book is much easier. Reaching there in our consciousness, which also manifests in our behavior, that we are really establishing that truth. That is a long journey. That is why this whole study, this whole hard work that we have to do to be able to reach there. So then what is saying? Prapitamahasya Brahmanopi Pita Ityartha. Nama Namaste. Tubhyam Namaste. I am bowing down to you. Sahasra Krittuha. Again and again, 1,000 times. Punasya Bhyopi. Again he is doing it. Namo Namaste. Bahushaha. Many times he is bowing down to him. Namaskara Kriya Bhyasa Vritti Gananam Kritva Sucho Uchyate. So he's saying, he said, Sahasra Kritvaha. He's quoting that grammatical rule, saying that again and again, this is doing abriti, he's repeating it. Again and again, he's bowing down. You must have seen in temples, the young boys and girls, and children who go to temples, they will just fold their hands before the Lord once and they go away. That is the normal practice. But you look at slightly older people, especially if you look at older women, I have seen, when they go to the temple, they do 5, they fold their hands 5 times and say, oh Lord, this, that. They'll be trying to go, they'll return and do it another 5 times. And that is understandable, you see. When they realize that our stay here is very temporary, every opportunity to go down to the God is a great opportunity to make use of, because that opportunity may not come tomorrow. We don't know whether it's going to be there or not. Therefore, the wiser ones, the devotees, the devoted women in men, but I have seen that more with women, they worship the Lord, fold their hands, take his name again and again, multiple times. And this is not out of fear or anything. They are not afraid of anything. This is genuine love. This is a genuine love, and because of which they sort of bow down to the Lord. They want the Lord to look at them at least once. That is the connectivity, isn't it? You go to a relative or a friend, and if that particular friend or relative doesn't look at you, do you feel welcome? No. You feel very ignored. Similarly, when people go to the temple, they do pranam, but they want some sort of a return gift from the God in the form of his glance. And a lot of people sort of say, Lord Krishna was smiling at me today, because that is how the kind of emotional bond they have. Now here, he's doing again, and then what does he say? He's saying, Tatha Namaha iti, Namaha Purastad Purvasyam Disi. Now, just 2 minutes back, he said, I have no sense of direction, oh my Lord, you are everywhere. But he's saying, I am worshipping you in the Purva direction, in the east. Tubhyam Atha Pushtutopi, and again also in the Prachi and Pratichi, the backside also, Namastute Sarvate Eva Sarvasu Dikshu. And I am worshipping you in all directions. Why? There is a symbolism in it. So that, we do parikrama, right? So we are supposed to do a parikrama, but you will see symbolically wherever you are standing, you just move around all around you. Because the Vishwa Niyanta, the Sarvatmaka, you cannot do a parikrama of him. This parikrama is just symbolic thing. So the best thing is that where you are standing, you just turn around, because Lord is everywhere. How can you do parikrama of the Lord? Is it limited to a particular location? So some people sort of do it by sort of, they sort of try to do it where they are with a sense of love and dedication. Okay. And so that is how it happens. Sarvata eva sarvasu dikshu sarvastra sita he sarvananta virya. So you are sarva, you are ananta virya, amita vikrama, anandam viryam.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
What happened is,
sorry,
so just give me a second. There is a program coming. I have to close it. Yeah. So some apps are opening on their own. I don't know what has happened. So that's how we're saying Tvam Ananta Viryam. Okay. So Ananta Viryam Asya Amito Vikrama Yasya. So that is Amita Ananta Virya and Amita Vikrama. I'm Viryam, what is that? He's saying Samarthya. That is what Sankaracharya says, Samarthya. Vikrama Parakramaha. But this Viryam, Sankarananda, there's another commentator which I liked. I was having a look at it. He's saying that is basically by this Virya, we should understand Vyapana Silata, his ability to spread all around. Vikrama Parakramaha. Viryavan api kashid. Okay. Sastradi Vishaye na parakramati manda parakramo va tvam tu ananda viryo amita vikramascha iti ananda virya amita vikramah sarvam samastam jagata samapnosi samyak ekena atmana vyapnosi ataha tasmad asi bhavasi sarvaha. So that is how he's explaining why virya and vikrama, parakrama, both the things are mentioned. You see, there is this Madhusudan will mention about it. So Bhima was kind of referred to as a person who has a lot of physical strength. But Duryodhana was referred to as a guy who was a very hardworking student, was intellectually oriented. So people used to say that, look here, this guy is very strong, but Duryodhana is a very smart student. Okay, so he has got higher learning in terms of dedication and stuff like that. Same with Arjuna. Similarly, here he's saying that Parakrama wise, let's for example say that you have Arjuna and you have Virya wise in terms of sheer physical strength is Bhima. So Bhagavan is a combination of brain and brawn, as they say, both body and mind. But these are, as I told you, Ajnana Rasaya. This is this level of ignorance at which Arjuna is trying to capture the greatness of the Lord through use of this sort of words. Who is Arjuna? He is representing all of us. Now, this is the way the human mind tries to understand the unlimited, unknowable power of the Supreme Self with divinity. This is the way in which we are trying to capture him. These words are fairly imperfect, rudimentary, do not have the ability to anyway capture the unlimited, undefinable, undifferentiable powers and beauty of knowledge and everything that we can associate with the Lord. He is beyond what we can think about. So this is the, this is Arjuna's words. He represents us. That is how I look at it. Okay. Samyak ekena atmana. So it's by your own self. You are vyapnosi. So you are everywhere. Therefore you are sarva. That is how he is mentioning why Bhagavan is sarva. Tvaya vina bhutam na kinchit asti ityasaha. Because that we have discussed. Na sato vidyate bhavaha. Without you, nothing can be there. Right? And therefore, you are sarvaha. That is how these two verses. Now let's look at our... Yeah. So this Vedyam and Vitta. So why he's mentioned Vidyam cha param cha dhama, here this Dhanapati is saying one beautiful thing. Sarvasya eva vidya jatasya bhedam bharayati vedyam cha jacha jnatum yogyam vastu tat cha asi. What he's trying to say is there are so many things which are knowable, like physics, chemistry, mathematics. These are all Vedya Jata. These are all the class of knowables. But he's saying you are the only knowable thing. What is he saying? He's differentiating the Lord as the object of our knowing, object of our process of exploration, of our jnana, from all other objects of knowledge. Why? These are Vyavaharika sciences. There are different sciences. We have studied earlier also. There are so many sciences. But the Atma Vidya, Adhyatma Vidya, I am Adhyatma Vidya among all the Vidyas, Bhagavan said. Why? The Adhyatma Vidya is the superior Vidya, the supreme science. Similarly, you are the Vidya, you are the supreme Vidya, because you are part of this science of the self. That is, you are the Paramarthika Tattva, knowing which one gets liberation. That is one interesting thing that we studied. And the verse number, okay, Madhusudana, Vayu iti, Vayu Yamogni Varuna Sasanka Surya Dinam Api Upalakshanam Etas. So Sasanka, what is there? He's saying, why don't you count all stars, including Surya and others? Prajapati Virat, Hiranyagarbhasya. So by Prajapati, he is now Madhusudana is saying Virat is that Stula thing, and Hiranyagarbha, Sutratmadi, Sukshma Rupa. Prapitamahasya, Pitamahasya, Hiranyagarbhasyapi Pita Chatvam. You are the creator of Hiranyagarbha and Virat and every. Yasmad evam Sarva Devatatmakatvat Tumeva Sarvaihi Namaskaryoshi. So you are actually somebody who deserves to be worshipped by all of us. I'm a human being, but even all the gods and goddesses, including Brahma, they bow down to you because you are Prapitamaha. You are the cause of everyone, including the so-called demigods and goddesses and everybody. Okay? Tasmat Mamapi Barakasya. I'm a small guy. So obviously, even for me, and Namo Namaste, you are definitely somebody who deserves to be worshipped. Namaste Tudhyam. Sahasrakutva. I want to do it 1,000 times. Punasya Bhuyapi Punurupi Namo Namaste. Again, he's doing Bhakti Saddha Atisayena. Because there's too much of bhakti and Saddha there. And therefore, he's saying this. Okay? So he's saying that Namo Namaste again and again. He's going and he's saying this. अतिशयने नमस्कारेषु अलंग प्रत्यय अभावेन. जितने बार नमस्कार कर रहा है, he is not very satisfied. That is the only problem. As many times he is doing this namaskara, he is not very happy. He is not contented. And then what he says, atisayana alam pratyaya abhavena anaya namaskara vritya suchyate. So he's saying that he's doing it repeatedly. And 40th verse, Tubhyam purastar agravave namastu. I'm bowing down in front of you. Tubhyam puro namaha namastaditi. And you know, in backside also. Atha sabdaha samuchaya. Because he's saying I'm touching your feet in the front, at the back. Krishnatopi tubhyam namastat namostu. Te tubhyam sarvata eva sarvasu dikshu stitaya. He sarva virye sarira valam. Viryam sarira valam. That is what is virya is sarira valam. That is how he's interpreting. Vikramaha siksha. That is what I was mentioning, that Madhusudana interprets it like this. Viryam is physical power, Vikrama is siksha, what you cultivate. Sakti prayoga kaushalam. So the ability to apply the scientific knowledge you capture in the classroom, and you are kind of an expert in applying these sciences. That is the kind of Arjuna or Duryodhana and people like that. Ekam viryadhikam manni, utekam shikshayadhikam. इत्युक्ते भीम दुर्योधनयोर अन्येषु च एकैकं व्यवस्थितम्. So either you have a lot of physical power or you have siksha, that is parakrama. You don't have both at the same time. That is there in Bhagavan. That is what Arjuna is saying. Okay, ekekam vyavasthitam. Tvam tu ananda viryascha amita vikramascha iti samastam ekam padam. So all of you, the physical power, mental or spiritual power, everything is kind of you only, because you are the ultimate thing of all of us. Tvad atiriktam kimapi nasti ityartha. Out of which, and then he's saying ananta virya iti sambodhanamba. Sarvam samastam jagatam apnosi samyak ekena sadrupena apnosi. This is the beautiful thing of Vedanta. Sadrupena. That satta rupena, sadrupena, chinamatrena. So you are pervading everything, not as Rama or Hari, as Krishna or Gopal or anything, but as nameless, formless Sadrupa, Asti Bhati Rupa. So you may have a pen or a pencil or a watch or a man or a woman or a dog or a tree. There is that Sadrupa which pervades all of us and pervades the existence of the tree, existence of a man, existence of a car, existence of a river. That pure existence, Sadrupa, is Bhagavan. That is what it is being hinted here. Okay? Twad atiriktam kimapi nasti ityartha. Without you, there is nothing. That is how it's explained. Now let's go to the verse number 41. Now he is trying to apologize. He has realized Bhagavan is Sarvatmaka, Parama Viryavan, Parama Parakramavan. He can do whatever he wants. Then, it's like it can happen anytime, okay? So what happens is you go to a place and somebody doesn't know who are you, and you are actually like a head of the institution, or maybe you are an officer or something. And he treats you like a common person. He doesn't know who are you. And after some time, he realizes that no, you are a very important person. Then he becomes very apologetic, isn't it? He apologizes. I'm so sorry, sir. I thought you just smile. He said, no, it's all right. It's not your fault. And you must have experienced it that certain times when you entered the college, there was a young lecturer, somebody, and you treated him like a friend. After 3 days, you find that he's sitting in the library and studying. You think, hi, how are you? But you later on figure out he's a professor. He just looks a little young, right? Now, Arjuna is apologizing to the Lord, saying, oh my Lord, so far I have made a lot of mistakes, treating you as if you're similar to me, but actually you are far superior to me. So these are a few apologies here. Sakhimatva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakhi ajanata mahimanam tabedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi. Now he's trying to apologize. Say, oh Lord, sometimes I've addressed you as Sakha, oh my friend, Matva. I've thought about you as if he's just a friend of mine. You are my cousin. Prasavam yajuktam, out of some forcibly, just to have fun or something. I may have said a few things, a few hard words that you have thrown at you, may have got angry with you. Yaduktam. And then how have I addressed you? Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, oh Yadava, please listen to me. Hey Krishna, please listen to me. Hey Sakha, oh friend, why don't you listen to me? I have done all that to you. Ajanata mahimanam tava idam. But why did I do it? Because I did not know. Tava mahimanam, your mahima, your greatness, your mahatma, which I heard from you and I saw it today. That I did not know, my Lord. Tava idam maya. Pramadat pranayena va api. Either I have done like this sometimes because of pramada, because of I am overcome by some emotion, because of some faulty understanding, because of some kind of angular behavior. Okay, as they call it, a few rough edges in the personality. So because of pramada, it's a faulty understanding. I have done it. Wrong attitude. Or pranayanava. Or because of my love for you. I forgot. I treated you like a friend. So sometimes what happens? So you are a superior boss, starts playing with you because there is no one else to play with him. So you are playing tennis or badminton and you are a very good player. Now what happens is that you become very friendly and your boss also doesn't mind you being friendly because you can frequently defeat him in the matches. So then what happens? Sometimes you get angry with him, but he knows if you don't play, he doesn't get a partner to play with. So he tolerates you and he gives you a lot of freedom. And then in the office, while putting up files on something, you're actually not putting it well, or you have made some mistake. He forgives you twice. And then you say, I'm doing it. Then he said, what? You get back to me with this file in just 10 minutes, okay? Then you realize who you are. And then you apologize. Then you say that he was friendly with you in the cricket field, or in the badminton court, or in the tennis court, or in the table tennis board. He's not your equal. He's much superior to you. But because of this laukika vyavahara, A person thinks we are equal, and that's a wrong thing. That's what Arjuna realizes, and therefore he's sort of, apologizing to him. And look at the verse number 42. We'll do it together because it's very similar. Jacha vahasartha masatkritoshi vihara sayyasana bhojaneshu eko thavaप्यच्युत tat samaksham tathyamaye tvamaham prameyam. Then he's saying Jacha avahasartham, in order for fun, for jokes. Asatkrito asi, and I may have done something which I shouldn't have done. I have done it with you. Bihara, while walking around, we have gone on a trip or a trekking. Saya, while taking food, or when you're going to bed, I said, hey, where are you taking? Change the pillow. Every day you're coming and taking my soft pillow. May have said they're cousin brothers. And Sayasana, or you sitting somebody and no, you sit there, give me my chair, you go sit in the corner. Bhojan is well eating. He's asking for some makhan, he's a makhan chore. So maybe on your plate he took some makhan. Why are you taking my makhan? It's quite possible that children, they must have fought like that. And eko thavapi achyuta. Okay, and then I may have done it when no one else is there. Only you are there. And I slapped you. Well, we are cousins, right? Or I got angry with you. Athava tat samaksham. Otherwise, other people are there. And I'm doing the same thing with you. Embarrassing you. Pata hai ye makhan chori karta rehta hai. That kind of thing he has said. Tat khyamaye. I'm bowing down to you. Please forgive. May I be forgiven for those things that I have done. Because now I know you are Paramapita. You are Lord of the universe. I thought you were just one of us. I'm sorry, my boss. Tvam aham aprameyam. But this is not my fault. Because you know why I cannot understand who are you. Look at the kind of game Arjuna is playing. He has made a few mistakes, right? Now he wants to get away with it. Then he is very intelligent. He's saying, you are aprameya. Very difficult to know, my lord. And I could not know you. Not my fault. It's like we say, sorry, God, I have not been able to remember you, but I have studied in Bhagavad Gita. It says you are aprameya. It also says I'm a big papi. I'm likely to forget because there are a lot of sanchita karma. You know all the theories now. So you will tell Lord, this is my prarabdha, this is my sanchita. So I could not recognize you, could not remember you. I was busy in parties, but I'm coming back. So I'll be able to give you 5 minutes. Bhagavan smiles, says, okay. But don't forget that 5 minutes is very important. That is Bhakta Bhagavan Sambandha. So Arjuna is saying this. Let's look at how Shankaracharya explains it. And this is a very beautiful conversation. This is a very loving dialogue between the devotee and his Lord. Yato aham tvam tvat mahatmya aparigyanat aparadhi. I'm aparadhi. I'm the person. I'm the culprit. Why? Because I didn't know who are you. You are the Lord of the universe, my Lord, but I didn't know this, my sir. Ataha sakhaiti. Therefore, he's saying sakheti matva prasabham yatyuktam. Because I thought you are a friend. I talk like that. Sakha samanavaya. Because we are same age. Arjuna and Krishna, they are cousins and of the same age. Obviously, a lot of fights and friendships in childhood. Iti matva jnatva. Thinking like that. Viparita buddhya. Because of my ulta buddhi. Because of my opposite, wrong attitude. Prasavam avibhuya. So you have that, suddenly I do one thing, you're having chocolate, I snatch the chocolate away. That's what happens between young children. Prasa here, forcibly what I have done, Jadviktam, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakha, iti. So I have addressed with Krishna or Yadava or Sakha. All these things I have done, it's a ajanata. So because I have ajanata, ajnanina, it's done by me, but that is Arjuna. Who is that kind of Arjuna? He did not know what he has known by now. He is Ajnani. So Ajnanina, by that Ajnani this has been done, by Mudhena. Because I was Mudha, I was Ajnani. It happened. Mujhse galti ho gayi. You know how children tell? Mom says, why did you do it? The boy will never say, maine se nahi karunga. He says, अब भी फिर नहीं होगा, गलती हो गई. So he doesn't take any responsibility. The boy says what? और नहीं होगा, गलती हो गई. So it has happened, it will not happen again. Did you do it? No, it happened. You know, that's the loving relationship. So that is how he's saying galti ho gayi. That's what he's saying. Kim ajaneta ityaha mahimanam mahatmyam. I didn't know tava mahimanam mahatmyam. Tava idam ishwarasya vishwarupam. Now there will be a bit of distinction that Shankaracharya will say idam and ayam. Idam is napumsaka, vishwarupam. The Vishwarupa of Bhagavan is prakasita idam tvena, as if this is an object of knowing. That rupa is jada. A person is very handsome. That handsomeness is jada. The person who is carrying that handsomeness is Chaitana, but that handsomeness is not Chaitana. Similarly, saying that Vishwarupa is what? It's an aspect of the Lord. Therefore, idam. But Bhagavan itself is ayam. Therefore, that's what I'm saying. Tava iyam mahimanam. This mahatmya is mentioning nam. Tava iyam here. Mahimanam ajanata iti vaidhikaranyena sambandha. So idam and iyam, right? Both the things are there. Iyam and idam ajanata iti vaidhikaranyena sambandha. Tava imam iti patho yadi asti. If it is mentioned as imam, tada samanadhikaranya meva. It seems that, now this is a grammatical issue, not very important. It's quite possible that certain editions during Shankaracharya's time it was mentioned as imam, and some other places it is mentioned idam. So he's saying if it is imam, this is samanadhikaranya. There is no problem. Otherwise, you have to presume vaidhikaranya. That means there are two places. One is Pullinga, one is and then other one is Klivalinga. Maya pramadat, because of my faulty understanding, vikshipta chittataya, because I'm absent-minded. Maybe I just was foolish. Pranayana va api, otherwise out of lot of affection for you, because we are very close cousins. Pranayanama, snehastha nimitto, because of your affection for somebody. Brisambhastenapi karanena yad uktavan, whatever I have said, uktavan asi. Yacha iti, yacha avahasartham, for fun. Parihasa prayojanaya asakritaha, whatever I have done, something not very right. Pariharasa, that's for fun, because I wanted to have some, I want to make fun of something at your cost, and that's what I've done. Paribhuta asi bhavasi, so I have defeated you, I have pulled your leg. Ko vihara, where did I do it? Vihara, saya, asana, bhojaneshu, viharanam vihara, moving around. And pada vyayamaha, because you want to do some exercise, walking around. Sayanam, saya, asanam, asti, asthaika, bhojanam, adanam itya etesu. Adanam is actually eating, okay? Bhojanam, I mean, he doesn't have to explain bhojanam, but he just mentioned Bihara sayasana bhojaneshu ekaha. Either you are alone, porokshaha, san asat krito asi. So I have done something which is not right with you. Paribhutas asya athavapi he Arjuna tat samakhyam. Okay, I have just mentioned here Achyuta before others. Maybe I have done some. Tat sabdaha kriya visheshanartha. Kriya visheshana, that adverb. Okay, so it's kind of defining that kriya visheshana, tat samakhyam. Either you are alone or before others. I have done that parihas with pratyaksham. Baso kritoshi tata sarvam aparadhidatam shamaye. So all these things which has been born out of my faulty action, you please forgive me. Khyamam karaye. Tvam aham aprameyam pramanatitam. So you are beyond all ways of knowing, and therefore kindly forgive me. And how does sort of Madhusudan explains? More or less same. Say Tvam mama sakha samanavaya iti matva. There is nothing terribly new, so I'm not repeating. Okay, tatha mahimanam aishwarya atisayam ajanata. I didn't know your aishwarya, which is unlimited. Pulinga pathe imam Vishwarupatmakam Mahimanam Ajanata. The same thing that Shankaracharya mentions, he's mentioning here. Okay, then Vihara, Krida, Vyamo, and there is nothing terribly new. Okay, this is one interesting thing. Why Bhagavan Krishna is called Achyuta? Okay, this is something that you should understand. Why is he called Achyuta? Because Nachyabate, there is no change in him. Okay, he's Chirastai, Chirantana, Sachidananda Rupa. That's why he's Achyuta. He Achyuta, Sarvada Nirvikara. There is no Vikara in him. Okay, Tad Sarva Vachana Rupam Asakta Asatkarana Rupam and Cha Aparadha Jatam Khyamaye Khyamami. But he's not actually mentioned that. There is another book where the Achyuta thing. Now, just give me 1 second. I'll just take it out for you because this is a beautiful explanation he has given in Sankarananda. I just found this book and it's there is some interesting thing. Once in a while, there are a couple of interesting things. So we'll just look at this particular thing where I was saying. Okay, so what is Achyuta is explaining? You see, this is very beautiful, and if you can remember it, Nachyavante, there is no change. Okay, Sadeka Rupena Avikriya Atmana. Sad Eka Rupa, that Sachidanupa, Sad Eka, that Sat Vastu Rupena Avikriya Atmana. Kutavat, it's like that particular thing which is inside. Kutavat tishtati iti achyutah. So he achyutah means he paramatman. So this particular thing, that particular thing was interesting. Lest I forget. Okay, so the rest is more or less same. And then in the verse number 42nd, there is nothing. Nirvikana Rupena Bhagavata Mahatman Avigyam Paradha Kyantabhyaha Achintya Prabhavatam Eva Prapanchayati Pitas. That is the verse number 42nd. Okay, so